What's up, everybody? You're here today to learn how to do a proper bridge. Or the top part of a hip thruster, whatever you want to call it. The reason why this movement is so important is because it is the top portion of a bend and it's the first half of the descent. This is why you're training a bridge, is to train your ability to do this. Because if many of you are bending from your back, you're blowing out disc, you're bending from the arches in your back, you're getting SI joint pain, hip impingement. The bridge trains that very specific section of the bend. That's why you're doing this. So let's build your bridge up. There are three components to the bridge. There is the breath, there is the spine, flexing the spine, and there is the hips. Three things to improve on. So right now, take your clothes off, lay down. I want all of you completely naked on the table. All right, and get a band. You want a band like this around your knees. If you don't have a band, I don't know, wrap a garbage bag around your legs and tie it. Find something. So now that you're on your back, you're watching me, listening to my soothing voice, let's start with your breath. Put one hand on your stomach. First thing, are you even breathing right? This is the fundamental. Take a big breath in. Your stomach should rise. Exhale your air, your stomach should fall. Inhale, your stomach should rise. If your breathing order is all out of whack, we have a different video and we have full programs to help you fix that shit, because your bridge ain't gonna be fixed until you fix this. So now that you got your breathing improved through a few breaths, what you're gonna do is this. I want you to relax your stomach now, let it relax, and you can do something called a snap technique, which you're just going to draw your belly button backwards. Draw it backwards. You're gonna be holding that drawn back belly button throughout the whole rep for the rest of your life. But you're gonna sync it up with breath. So now, tighten the stomach by drawing the belly button back. Now, take a full belly breath in. You should feel your ribs expanding. Hold your breath. Now, keep it tight and fully exhale. Good. All the way in, keep it tight, and exhale. Now let's add a couple bridges with this one. So what you want to do is keep this band, keep your feet wide, shoulder width, even more, keep your feet wide. You guys live too narrow with your lives. Everyone's all kneeling together, all your knees are together, you're doing all that. I don't know why you live like that. Get fucking wide. Jeez. Okay. So keep your knees wide. So now what you're going to do is only focus on the breath. Stomach's tight, right? Take your breath in. Now keep it tight, force the exhale, and extend your hip all the way up. Air should be out at the top. Reclaim your air on the way down. Keep the stomach tight. Force the air out on the exhale. You're strengthening your abs by breathing right. What the hell? You ain't doing this now. You're holding your breath. You're blowing blood vessels out in your eye. That's why your back hurts. That's why you're blowing hemorrhoids out your ass. Next. Let's get the spine involved with this. Many of you, what you're doing is you're just throwing your hips up in the air, you're arching into this thing, you're just throwing these big arches in, you're counting 1, 2, 3. All you're doing is reinforcing shitty mechanics and poor movement patterns. You're reinforcing your imbalances. That means the weak muscles are staying weak and your tight muscles are getting tighter. So now what you can do is this. We're gonna focus on a roll-up technique where I'm gonna get my arrow and show you. So now, get that breath. Actually, let's do a couple without the breath. Let's just work Ty on some posterior tilts. You ready? So as you're on your back, go ahead and tuck your pelvis all the way back. And keep your hips on the ground though for him, Ty. We're not gonna roll up yet. Okay, ready? And go ahead. There it is. Good. And back. You're doing a posterior tilt of the hip. Posterior tilt. Get your feet far away too. You'll feel a little bit. For now, you can get your feet out there. Okay. Okay, and good. Let's work on a few of these. Good. You should feel your glute activate. That's what you're trying to target here, right? Your glutes. Everyone wants those glutes. Everyone wants this peach like this. This didn't come natural. I work for this shit, and I'm showing you how to get a peach like mine. Okay. So now, sync that little movement up with your breath. Are you ready? So as you come out of your posterior tilt, good. Take your breath in here. Now, keep it tight. Now exhale and posterior tilt. Holy shit, you're building a bridge. You're building a bridge. We're building bridges. Okay. Keep going with this one. Exhaling. Now, many of you, what you're doing though is you're bulging your stomach out. So take the inhale and lose the posterior tilt, Ty. Now, I want you to focus specifically on pulling the belly button back to the spine as you exhale. Great. Okay. So, next part of the bridge. Now that your feet are wide, I want you to bring your feet a little closer together, right about there. Good. You're now going to we're going to be doing the hips. Okay? Your hips. To start with, drive these out as wide as you can. Drive your hips out and keep them out. This right here alone is helping you improve. This is fixing one of the major imbalances. And here's what that is. It's that you guys right now, during that bend and lift, 80, 90% of you, you're folding inward. This is why you have hip impingement, meniscus ACL tears, ruptures, plantar fasciitis. This is because your legs are spiraling inward. It's a weak, pathetic position that you need to counteract now. That's why you got the band. Great. You're training yourself to bend properly. So now that you got this out, now let's kind of sync them up together. So Ty, you ready? So now you're going to keep the abs tight. Take that big breath in. Good. Good. Abs are tight. Posterior tilt all the way. Great. Knees are out. Now you're going to get as much hip extension as you can without losing the tightness and the flatness of this. How high can you go? You got more than Ty? Go a little more. There you go, right there. Good. So right now, you know you've done it right when you're feeling a pull. Do you feel a pull in the hip flexors? You feel a pull in your hip flexors right here, but your abs, show them what the extension looks like. Show them when they lose. That's what the hell is that? You ain't gonna get a booty like that. All you're gonna get is a tight back and a weak, flaccid ass. So, let's sync them up. You ready? Let's work on a few like this. So, take that big breath in, tighten the stomach back. Good. Knees are out wide. Using your heels, just use your heels to drive up. Okay? Now, slowly force your air out, posterior tilt, hold that tuck, drive your hips up as high as you can while maintaining the flatness. Feel the pull right there. Hold this for a moment. This is your opportunity to gain strength. Don't just leave this position. Give it a 1, 2, 3 count and back it down. Good. Reclaim your breath. Tighten it back up. Force the exhale. Rotate and drive upwards, upwards, upwards. You know you're doing it right. You feel it in that ass. You feel it in the abs. You're feeling the stretch. You're feeling all the things. Now, I want you to visualize something, okay? Keep going, Ty. But this next one, I want you to focus on you coming up from a squat. What does that feel like when you're coming up from a squat? I'm gonna come in front of the camera here. Good. And now what you're gonna do is hold that technique there, Ty, and go down from a squat. Good. Good. Visualize again. You, bottom of a deadlift. Go ahead and force the air out. Okay? You're training the bridge so that you can squat, bend, lunge, deadlift, RDL, all of those words, one of your key fundamental movement patterns, actually about 2 or 3 of them wrapped in one here, whenever you are doing those to maintain that alignment and that checkpoint. So in a nutshell, the bridge is designed to help you bend and come back up using your abs, using your glutes, using the right muscles. It's training you to bend and squat. There's 3 components to the bridge. There's your breath, there's your spine, that's why we did the flexion, and then there's your hips, which is the hip extension with the knee-driven driving out. If you're weak on any one of those, like your breath, we have an entire program to help you improve that breath strength through different core breathing techniques. It's incredible, you'll love it. If you have a hard time flexing your spine, changing that, that's our back and core program. And the hip issue is our hip and glute program. They're specific training programs designed to help you improve all of this to get you back to running, jumping, playing, and living your life pain-free, regardless of what doctors told you is wrong with you, surgeries they told you had to have, surgeries you've already had, diagnoses you have it in you, inside of you right now, to live a pain-free life with what you have right now. So that's how to improve it after this. I hope this video helped out. If you liked it, give us a like, share it with a friend, share it as your screensaver on your phone, or just crop me out of it and put me there. How to do a glute bridge properly. Love, Mike. Dr. Mike. And Ty.